Hello folks, just a quick update video. I was originally going to cover some of this following info in a mailbox video, but then quickly realised that I don't actually have time to make a full mailbox video and answer a bunch of questions at the moment. So I thought I'd make a relatively brief update video instead, just to cover a few new things. So first of all, I will be doing some new streams on Twitch TV in the near future. I have been streaming again relatively, well, semi-regularly. However, I usually tend to announce those off-the-cuff streams on Twitter, on my Twitter account. So if you've been wondering why you haven't been seeing any of those stream announcements, it's because I don't announce them on YouTube, I just announce them on Twitter to get a small, comfortable audience along. That doesn't cause any problems. In fact, you should be watching in the background right now actually footage from one of the streams I did recently where I played Dark Souls. So yeah, I've been doing some more streams recently, and I've had some ideas actually of some proper semi-regular series I'm thinking of streaming. For beginning with, Baldur's Gate fans, you're in luck, because what I've decided to do, because I didn't have any time in the sort of quote-unquote schedule, even though I don't really have a schedule, I didn't really have enough time to make new and upload new Baldur's Gate videos. I decided what I would do was start a regular live stream series of Baldur's Gate, where I would continue the Let's Play basically where we left off last time in the final video. And I would play it in live sessions on Twitch. Obviously, those sessions would be then uploaded to YouTube later, so if you missed the stream, you could still watch it afterwards. But I wanted to do it as a live thing because it's easier, and it means I can sort of do it without having to faff around with it, you know, edit it, render it, upload it, all that kind of thing, because all the live streaming kind of takes care of that. So that would be done kind of in the same vein of Variax's Let's Stream Oblivion series, which he's just finished, which I was paying fairly close attention to see how it went on and that sort of thing, and it's worked out pretty well. So I'm thinking of doing the same thing with Baldur's Gate. So Baldur's Gate, Let's Play Baldur's Gate, is going to be continuing in the form of live streams, basically because I wanted to get back to playing that game. I want to finish it. I want to move on to Baldur's Gate 2, which is a game I've wanted to play for years, but haven't been able to because I'm too stubborn to skip from Baldur's Gate 1 to 2. I don't like skipping games in a series. It just sort of annoys me in an OCD kind of a way. So yeah, Baldur's Gate will be continuing soon. Another potential idea that I ran by some people when we were doing one of the last streams, people seemed to like the idea, was I'd like to do a few point-and-click adventure games, actually. And you think, what? What? Point-and-click adventure games? No, yes, really. I used to play loads of them back when I was much younger on my old computers, when I was a kid, basically. Lots of those old games like Loom and Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and stuff like that. A lot of the old LucasArts ones. I quite enjoy them. And I figured but the problem I have with them, though, I mean, I've got loads of these things now. They've sort of been piling up. I've been buying them on sales and things, like from GOG.com and Steam and stuff like that. And the problem I have with point-and-click adventure games, of course, is the fact that I kind of suck at the puzzles half the time, and I can't quite figure them out. And I figured it would be potentially quite a good idea, actually, to live stream these games, because generally speaking, they're not very long, most of them. You can complete them in like a couple of hours from start to finish if you know what you're doing. And so I figured, why not actually play some of these games live, where the audience can kind of participate and help solve the puzzles, which would actually be kind of cool, because otherwise I probably wouldn't bother let's playing a blind anyway, certainly not a point-and-click adventure game, because I would just keep getting stuck on the puzzles. But I could play it live and have you guys help with those. So it's kind of like almost interactively playing the game. Which might be quite fun. So I'm thinking of doing some of those as well. As for both streams, I really don't have... there isn't really going to be any kind of schedule. It's just going to be whenever I've got the time. But I want to keep it fairly sort of semi-regular, like I said. That said, this summer, coming soon-ish, after like I think June onwards. Streaming may become a bit of an issue as well as uploading, because I will be back staying at home with my family. I'll be coming home from university, obviously, over the summer, as you can probably imagine. It's normal. That's what you normally do, because there's nowhere to stay here, because I have been moving into a different house next year. But basically, I'm going back home over the summer, and unfortunately, where I live back home in the old Northamptonshire, our internet connection is not very good. It's pretty rubbish. It's just a regular, bog standard, cheap-ass broadband connection, as opposed to the nice, fancy, shiny fibre optic I have when I'm in Norwich. As a result of that, streaming will become nigh on impossible. Uploading more than one video a day will become nigh on impossible. Which may make keeping to certain schedules a bit of an issue. You will certainly, over the summer, not be seeing me uploading, say, 3 Skyrim videos a day, like I did recently. I uploaded like 3 videos, I think, on the Wednesday and the Sunday. That will not happen over the summer. My internet connection cannot do it. It takes literally about, with the videos as long and as high resolution as mine are, it literally takes on the old connection, I believe, about something around in the region of 12 to 18 hours to upload one video, whereas it takes about 40 minutes here on this connection, which should give you some sense of perspective there. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. I will not be going back until June, I don't believe. I will be finishing my first year of university relatively soon, but only after that will I actually be going back. So that is something worth bearing in mind. In fact, this next week actually as well, it's something again worth bearing in mind, is that this next week for me is deadline week for my final project for year 1 of my course. Therefore, uploads are going to be pretty damn sparse. The bare minimum, in fact, probably will be there. I've managed to get a Skyrim video up today. I'll probably have one up on Wednesday and probably have one up on the following Sunday. However, anything else will be a tremendously big bonus, because I will be spending most, if not all, of my time next week slaving away in Maya trying to build a 3D castle, because that's my project. It's bloody dull, frankly. It's nowhere near as exciting as it might sound, but it needs to be done, and therefore I will not be spending a great deal of time uploading, rendering, and recording videos, because that takes time and resources, more importantly, from my computer, which I need to be using putting together 3D stuff. So that's pretty much it. Bearing in mind, so just sum up really. But soon we will be doing Baldur's Gate streams, possibly some of those adventure game streams. Next week will be fairly upload free on account of it being my deadline week, and in addition to that, actually, I've been getting lots and lots of comments saying, oh, what happened to this Let's Play, what happened to that Let's Play, specifically when it comes to Dragon Age. Lots of sort of very annoying, actually, sarky comments saying, well, this was fun while it lasted, and that sort of thing. Look, here's the thing, Dragon Age is not cancelled, neither is Oblivion, neither is any of the others, unless I've specifically said. Nothing is ever cancelled unless I specifically say. Unfortunately, it would appear that a lot of people don't actually pay attention when I say something is cancelled. Kaiserreich USA was cancelled because the save game became corrupted and kept crashing on a certain date. Crusader Kings 2 cannot be continued on account of the save game being corrupted as a result of updates made to the game by the developers. Invasion Barbarorum can't be continued because the installation I had for that didn't work anymore and I had to get rid of it. Now, if you didn't actually, you weren't actually watching update videos and things like that I'd made where I actually addressed these problems, then that's really your fault and not mine, and you really shouldn't pester me about this sort of thing. As I said, it's something is not cancelled unless I say it is cancelled. Again, let me think back even further. Hidden and Dangerous 2. That one I stopped because I wasn't actually enjoying it nearly as much as I thought I would. That one I specifically mentioned in an update video. So yeah, an LP is not cancelled unless I say it is cancelled, guys. So you can probably quit it with the comments saying, "Oh, why is this cancelled?" on stuff like Dragon Age. The sad fact of the matter is, I live or die on my ad revenue I get from this YouTube channel. It is what is supporting me through university. The money I get at the end of the month from YouTube, well, from TGN, but by proxy from YouTube, is what allows me to buy food and clothing and, you know, all that sort of thing, and actually just stay alive and continue to do my university course. And soon enough, I'll be using it to pay rent as well. So, therefore, I have certain priorities when it comes to what videos actually get uploaded. By which I mean, whenever I've got time to make new videos, it needs to be Skyrim ones first and foremost, and then if I've got time after that, I can make something else. So, and the simple fact of the matter there is, because the Skyrim videos get the most views, they make me the most money, and therefore they are the highest priority. If I have only enough time during a week to make, say, 2 or 3 videos, they're probably all going to be Skyrim ones. If you want to change that, if you would prefer that I was making Dragon Age ones instead, well, sad to say it, and I hate saying this kind of thing, but you need to like, comment, and favorite those Dragon Age videos, because that way they'll get higher in the search rankings, and they'll get more views, and therefore be more profitable for me to make. Until the day comes where Dragon Age becomes like twice as popular as Skyrim, I'll be making Skyrim videos before I make Dragon Age ones. That, however, does not mean to say that Dragon Age is cancelled. Far from it. I intend to continue it. I have about roughly half an episode cobbled together at the minute. I need to get the rest of it finished, and that will be uploaded whenever I've got time to, and whenever I've got time to render it as well, because that takes a long ass time. But it is not cancelled. It's bumped down the priority list on account of the number of views those things actually get on a regular basis. So yeah, basically that's how it works. That's why I don't have a schedule at the minute beyond Skyrim is on Wednesdays and Sundays, because everything else really comes down to how much time have I got left in the week to put videos together. And, you know, if I've got time left in the week to put videos together, I have to carefully prioritize which ones get made before the others. Which is why, generally speaking, you've seen so far, most videos that come up are Skyrim ones. Following that, it usually tends to be Fallout. Following that, it's sometimes Kaiserreich. Following that, it can be any of the others. So, because that's just the way it works. I'm sorry, guys, this is my job now. I need this money to live, and therefore I have to be sensible when it comes to how I devote my time to making videos. So, complain away all you like, that's just the reality of the situation. Anyway, that's all the important info covered. I hope this video didn't take too long, and I'll see you again pretty soon. Presumably on next time, you know, on Wednesday when Skyrim goes up, and failing that, after the end of Deadline Week of Doom, where I shall be uploading far more stuff, making far more stuff, doing far more live streams, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, until then, I'll tough it out, and I'm sure you guys can tough it out till then too. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Ta-ra for now.